In the quiet centuries of Europe's past, there was a moment when the world seemed to hold its breath. A moment after the Black Death, when the noise of daily life faded and a strange, heavy silence settled over towns and villages. Tonight, we drift back into that silence to understand why an entire continent suddenly grew quiet. After the plague swept across Europe in the mid-1300s, it left behind empty fields and houses with doors still open, as if the people had only stepped out for a moment and never returned. Roads that once echoed with carts and market chatter became still. Travelers wrote about long distances where they met no one at all, only the distant sound of wind moving through abandoned homes. Church bells, once rung every day for festivals, gatherings, and prayers, now rang mostly for burials, until even the bell ringers themselves were gone. And in that absence, the bells themselves fell silent. Monasteries lost entire groups of monks. Some churches had no priest left to sing the morning hymns. Fields were tilled by no hands, and the harvest rotted gently in the sun. Even animals seemed confused. Shepherds vanished, but their sheep wandered freely, grazing in places that had once been busy roads. Chroniclers wrote of nature slowly reclaiming land that humans no longer touched. In many towns, people spoke quietly, not out of fear, but out of exhaustion. A deep collective tiredness fell across Europe, a kind of emotional winter. And yet, within that silence was also the beginning of change. Wages rose because workers were suddenly valuable. Feudal lords lost power because they had no peasants to command. And slowly, very slowly, new ideas spread about science, about medicine, about how societies should be organized. It was as if the silence gave Europe a moment to think. The strange silence after the Black Death was not only the quiet of loss, but the quiet before transformation, a pause in history, a long inhale before the world exhaled into something new. And tonight, as you drift toward sleep, you are resting in that same silence, gentle, calm, and full of possibility.